quite an
Yeah.
interesting one.
All I'll say is I'm always confident when Town are taking penalties. I don't watch them, but I always secretly know that we're going to do it.
Christopher Schindler has a chance to write his name in Huddersfield Town legend. And he takes that chance!
End of term vibes, eh? Welcome to The Warmth, episode 72. Joining me, your host, Brady Frost. It's the devilish drawer, the flat cap hoarder, and Alan Lee adorer. It's Tom Bradshaw. How are you, Tom?
Oh, I like that, Brady. I'm going to put that on my Twitter profile, I think. That was really good. No guest today, Brady.
No guest today, mate. No view from the other side either. It's almost as if everyone's just focusing on the playoffs. Shocking.
We finished in 15 minutes.
Well, it will be quick. I don't know if it'll be 15 minutes because we'll end up talking about Alan Lee or something. That'll drag it out. But Tom, we can talk about the playoffs. I mean, we will be doing. We've just been talking before we jumped on about how we're going to approach the semi-finals and possibly more. Possibly is the key word there. But we've got a game to preview, and it's the last game of the regular season. It's Bristol City, isn't it, Tom? How are you feeling about this one?
It is. I should hope it's going to be some sort of celebratory atmosphere. Just want one of those sunny days down at the Gal Farm, don't you? End of season vibes. Can't beat it. Quite confident. They've had a pretty poor season when you kind of look at their squad and the manager that they've got. I think they were expecting more coming out of this season. I think I was expecting more from them as well. I think they didn't really get much confidence from the pundits at the start of the season, but I just thought Nigel Pearson would do something with that squad and the players that he's got, but it's kind of been a bit of a carbon copy of what he did at the back end of last season when he came in. So I am quietly confident that Town will wrap up the season with a win and finish as high as we possibly can.
Yeah, there's a lot. Well, until we can't get automatics anymore, but we could shift a place or two. So, a place. We could be third or fourth. There you go.
I'd like that second one, Brady. Sure, it still can't happen. Bournemouth going to get docked points last minute.
I'll have a word with the EFL, see what I can do. But yeah, you're right, Tom. We are here to preview Bristol. So they're 17th in the league, 55 points. They won 15 games this season. They actually got their biggest win of the season last time out, which was 5-0 victory against Hull. And they're unbeaten in the last 5. I was looking at the head-to-head. We've won just 3 times in the last 10 games against Bristol, most recent of which came back in December, the 3-2 win. Does that change your mind on anything, Tom, or are you still quietly confident?
Weird one, aren't they? They've because I looked at that as well. So we're actually pipping them on the wins just about overall in history. I think 27 wins to their 24. But it's like in recent history, they've been a little bit of a bogey team, especially at Aston Gate. And I do remember like the Leroy Lita years where they used to come up and it was worrying at a prospect of playing Bristol City. So a little bit, but I just think they're a different animal now, aren't they? There's no one particularly in that team that I'm worrying about. I'm not getting those Leroy Lita vibes from a player. I mean, Wyman's in great form, but like I think the way we are this year, I just think we should at least be competitive in a game against Bristol City this season. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. I always think of is it Tammy Abraham where he just like thrashed?
Oh yeah.
Was that the game where Hoggy broke his neck and then came back the next game?
Yeah. What a machine. That was crazy, that wasn't it? Because that was we hadn't got playoffs yet, had we?
No, I don't think so.
And that was a bit like, we just got thrashed by these lot. Are we even going to make the playoffs? What a machine, man. How did it, he was on the floor for 10 minutes. How did he come back one game later?
I have no idea. I mean, if we could ever get him on, Jonathan Hogg, I would love to hear. That man's indestructible. He's the Terminator, isn't he, basically?
Well, that's it. I wonder if he actually is the Jonathan Hogg that we remember. Like, I did a T-shirt for the club shop that after that for the playoffs, and they wanted me to do like there was a Terminator one. Yeah, no. There was a Terminator one, Brady, like you've just said, and then there was like a RoboCop one. And I wonder if secretly they did cart him off and like put some wires in him or something. Do you know what I mean? And then he's come back, and that's what's in him now. He's like, yeah, what is that? The $100 million, $1,000 million man from like the 70s.
Don't know. Do you think, or is it more like a conspiracy theory? You know, like where they reckon Avril Lavigne has been replaced by a clone.
Yeah,
do you think it's
and
that?
it's a clone. Well, that's what. How can you break your back and be playing football a week later?
Well, you know, we should probably take our tinfoil hats off. Don't want to go down. Don't want to become a podcast peddling conspiracy theorist. There's Joe Rogan for that. Anyway, Bristol City key player. Who did you pick for this one? Because actually, they've got some good attacking players, and we talk about Tom's shopping cart. Have you picked someone you want Town to sign?
Oh, there's one that I'd put in that shopping cart, but I think the others for me. Well, I say I passed it. They're not past it, but we've done quite well with the older players this season. To be fair, I've got 3 names down that I thought have had a good season. So I'll say one, Brady, and if it's the same as yours, I'll say another. So Wyman's at the top of my list because I
thought you'd pick him because
how has he done that? 22 goals this season, league and cup. It's the highest tally he's had ever. The second closest was 2018-19, and that was 10 goals. So it's just one of those weird seasons, isn't it, where he's just clicked. He's even got 10 assists this year, which I thought all the creativity is basically almost come through him. And then he's got his old mate Chris Martin up there with him, who's even reached double figures this season, which I couldn't believe. And you look at those attacking players and you think, how are they where they are in the league when they're obviously quite handy up front? There's another player on my list, but maybe you'll mention him, so I'll pass it over and see if you do.
Well, let's see if it is. I chose Antoine Semenyo. Was that your second choice?
He's the one I'd put in the shopping cart, Brady.
Well, Tom, we talk about adding players in the shopping cart. I'd be happy to scrap for him in a Black Friday sale, you know, like they do with the tellies. 8 goals, 12 assists this season. He plays as a second striker in their 3-4-1-2. He's got pay. I know he's got so much more than pace, but he's just such an exciting forward. I think every time he gets on the ball, he looks like he can do something. He's, like I say, 12 assists, some intelligent passes in there. Just absolutely fantastic. And I think he'll be up for it on Saturday. You know, we'll see. I think it's interesting. Again, it's one of these games where we've talked about since we've made the playoffs and teams have nothing to play for. It kind of depends on how the other team is going to treat it. But I think he'll be up for showing off, especially against a team that's made the playoffs, what he can do. And I'd love him at Town. Looks like a hell of a talent, and I think he could really go on to do great things.
Yeah, he is. He's one of those. If you did get to the Premier League, that you if you're being smart, he's a player that you'd target, I think. Bit of a shout out to Nikki Wells. He's got to be disappointed this season with his return, I think. I thought he maybe wasn't playing, but he's actually been in the squad for quite a few games. He just hasn't worked for him, has it? Maybe he just doesn't suit that pace and style or something. But is it only 3 or 4 goals this season, which if you're Nikki Wells, you're a bit disappointed with, I think.
Yeah. I remember we talked about him on a previous pod and we had the same thing. But, you know, Town, they're, habit for picking up former strikers who weren't doing well at other clubs and getting something out of them. So come on, Nikki. I again talked about it. I think it was my return to the Mac pick, wasn't it? About Naki, and now I think he'd be good in this Carlos side. So yeah, make it happen.
I honestly think his next stop's Bradford. I think he'll go back to Bradford. One last hurrah at Bradford.
Do you think?
Yeah. What is he, 34, 33 now?
No, he's on that 31, isn't he?
Is he?
Yeah.
Still,
Is this the
3
classic?
goals.
He's 29. He's 28 till he's 29.
Yeah. Well done. He's 14.
Um, let's hope Town aren't approaching the game the same way we're approaching this preview, where we're happy to talk about anything else, really. But this is an interesting one, Tom, because, like we say, it is the last game before we get into the playoff semi-final. So who do you think could be a key man in this one? Because again, I think we should probably see 2 or 3 changes in this. Do you think have you gone for someone who should come in and make a difference, or have you gone for a reliable regular?
I think the team I've gone for there's a few changes in there, but I've gone for a bit of a reliable regular. That was a good little, what is that? Iteration? What is the word for it? I don't know. I never was good at English words and things like that. So, anyway, my reliable regular is I gone with Tom Lees because it's literally looking at their stats. I think if you stop them scoring, you win the game, don't you? You're going to score in this game. It depends if they score as many as you. That classic football fable. So I just think a good solid performance from Mr. Lees, and we're fine and dandy.
Absolutely. Alliteration, that's the word we were looking for.
Alliteration. Okay.
I remembered, yeah. Because you said football fable, that's another clear example.
Yeah. What did I say? Iteration. What's that mean?
I don't
Probably
know.
a really terrible word or something.
Isn't it? No, come on. It's not dictionary corner here. Okay. Tom Lee's great. I think probably, one of those players who I think people would say is probably underrated, but I think he's actually probably perfectly rated now, because I think most Town fans realise he's been incredible this season. Maybe not as much as Lee, Nichols and Sorba in terms of like grabbing the headlines, but yeah, quietly solid. Be interesting to see. I might do that as a little poll. Who do you think deserves a shout by the obvious ones?
Yeah, good shout, Brady.
Yeah, that is a good shout. Thank you very much, Tom. I'm going for as my key man. Loved his little cameo against Coventry. I think he deserves 60 minutes for this one. Tino Anjorin. Looked like the player we'd been promised and we've been hyping up every single week on this podcast, Tom. Wouldn't you agree?
I agree. Yeah. I mean, perfect time for him to come into a bit of form, isn't it? Also, like, he's going to come into those playoffs, and whoever we get kind of won't have a clue what he's about, really, because they haven't faced him. So what a little secret weapon he could be. So, yeah, bring it on.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tom scores a penalty, which is, Town have been a bit funny with penalties recently.
Yeah, exactly.
One we could maybe debate on the playoff preview, but I was having a chat about who your penalty takers would be should it come to it. And I think maybe let's save that for the semi-finals, because that was quite an interesting one.
All I'll say is I'm always confident when Town are taking penalties. I don't watch them, but I always secretly know that we're going to do it, because we're like the Germany of penalties in English football, aren't we?
Can't wait to clip this when we get proved wrong. But to be fair, I had to look. Well, we'll talk about it briefly. I looked back at when our last penalty shootout was. Obviously, Carabao Cup at the start of the season against Sheffield Wednesday. We scored all our pens. Lee Nichols saved 2.
Yeah.
So there you go.
We love a penalty shootout.
We'll see. We can talk about that. But yeah, Tino, I think he deserves a start. I think like you touched on it there, Tom, could be a real secret weapon. And I think give him 60 minutes, see what he can do. This game's it would be nice to finish third. But ultimately I don't think it really matters. Actually, Tom, let's talk about this. Another conversation we've been having with Town friends. Town can play either Luton, Borough or Sheffield United, depending on how things. Who would you want, or does it not matter to you?
I don't think it matters really. Luton are in a bit of. I think Luton is quite appealing just because they've got so many injuries, and there's obviously some bit of it's just not clicking. They've just obviously not got the depth that they need, maybe to just push it that bit further. But then Jones, I quite rate Jones in the way he sets them up and stuff, and maybe they're going to think, are they going to ever get a chance similar to us when we went up? And I think we can beat Borough and Sheffield United. I actually think now I've run it through my head, I'd prefer Borough or Sheffield United. Chris Wilder I don't think he likes playing Carlos. Some of his comments before the game, like he obviously can't figure him out because he changes his tactics all the time and stuff. So, and I think we did a job on them at their place. And I just think Carlos can do Heckingbottom over. Clip that and put that out as well. I actually think out of the maybe Sheffield United go to the ones that I'd prefer us to play, and then Borough and Luton. That order.
Yeah, okay. That's interesting.
What about you?
Well, selfishly, again, I think this will just be good to clip. Because it doesn't matter. Like we'll just play where we play come 3:00 on Saturday.
Yeah, exactly.
Selfishly, I want Sheffield United because I just think if we finish fourth, a nice little Saturday 3:00 kickoff in Sheffield for the first leg, and then home leg on Tuesday night. I think that'd be great. Get to both games quite easily. I think Sheffield United, weird one for me because I'm waiting for them to click. You know, they have got a really good squad, and they've, you know, it's been a bit kind of stop-start their season. And I wonder if, you know, I could see them getting up for it, you know, kind of coming out of nowhere. Whereas I think, Borough, interesting one. They did beat us 2-1 at home, obviously, and they absolutely, you know, thrashed us, I think. But like you say, we did a number on them. I don't know. I think Luton is the team I don't want to get. I know they got thrashed 7-0 by Fulham, but yeah, I just think they'd be really difficult to play, especially if the first game's at them, at theirs at Kenilworth Road. So yeah, I don't know. I probably Sheffield United, but I think que sera, Tom.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, we'll move on because, Tom, let's get levered in and not shirk it because it's time for Return to the Mac.
Christopher Schindler has a chance to write his name in Huddersfield Town legend. De Potter's got the better. Yeah! And Laurent De Potter scored! What a goal, Aaron Moy! An absolute thunderbolt delivered all the way from Australia.
Return to the Mac. Okay, Tom. Any Neil Warnock quotes you want to chuck in here?
You got to die to get 3 points. You need James on there to do the impression. He's better. He's better at it. So, no.
Don't be so hard on yourself, man. Who have you picked? Oh, you haven't picked, have you? Or have you?
No, here's my return to the Mac. My return to the Mac is some end of season blue and white T-shirts all over the stadium.
Yeah.
There you go. Give everyone
blue and white T-shirts.
Yeah, give everyone a free T-shirt for the end of the season.
Okay.
Give everyone a blue T-shirt for the end of the season.
Is that a famous last words though? Or just a?
Because I can't think of who I want to bring back here apart from Alan Lee, but I already picked him last week. So,
yeah.
Or maybe here's one. I'll bring back a comedy figure who I thought had a really good, like, when he scored, he had a really good announcer's name, and he used to play for Bristol City, I think, if I'm not wrong. Boom, boom, Jamie McComb coming back for this game. Get him up front for. Remember when he went up front against Yeovil and he scored 2 goals? I think we were like 1-0 down, and Lee Clark just shoved him up front, and he got 2 goals in like the last 15 or something. That was a good memory of him. So yeah, bring him back.
I love there's a theme in a lot of your choices. It's either something off the pitch, or you seem to love a player that like a manager just sticks up front and
Exactly.
Nice, Joe Coombe. And the blue and white t-shirt. It would be interesting to see in the poll. Yeah, I was struggling, to be honest. So I've gone for one. I've gone for Ben Chilwell. I don't think we need him for this one, but I think Toff's been in great form. Just wanted to give him a rest, really. I just have it was more.
Give him a
it
rest.
Was more,
so bring Ben Chilwell in.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. This is a game in it where you don't want any injuries right before.
Yeah, true.
So Toff's been in great form. So yeah, that's my choice. All right, Tom, it's time for You're the Boss. What are we doing changes wise? Are we bringing anyone in? Anyone you want to bring in deserves a start?
Let me just shuffle my notes a bit. You can add the shuffling sound to that, Brady.
You did it for me, mate.
Yeah, it was quite good, that wasn't it? I'm like that guy from what is it? Beverly Hills Cops?
No, Police Academy.
Police Academy.
God, look at you with such up-to-date references.
I'm going with a 4-3-3.
Okay.
On Saturday. Nichols in net. I'm not resting Toffler. Sorry, mate.
That's fine. It's your choice.
Toffler, Lees, Sarr, Turton, back 4.
Okay.
Then O'Brien, Russell, and Carol Eiting to start in the middle. And then Tino, Danny Ward, and Holmes as the front 3 attacking. So a few changes. And then obviously do quite a few subs, use up those subs. I just want to give Carroll like a start, just in case he gets a sniff in the playoffs at all. Give him some game time. And then I think Lees and Naby, because I'm not sure, is Levi back yet? Or I think he was murmuring. Yeah, so that's how drunk I got last weekend. Forgot he was even on the pitch. Levi.
The professionalism on this podcast, honestly.
I think maybe give Levi a rest anyway, just so he's fresh for the playoffs, because I think he will start with Lees in the playoffs. Toffler is questionable. Maybe you put Pippa in there or someone as
Ruffles.
Well. Yeah, or Ruffles. Oh yeah, Ruffles. Yeah, give him a game. But I don't want to make too many changes. But yeah, you want to give the lads who maybe haven't started a game just a bit of game time from the off and see how they go. So yeah, there you go, 4-3-3. And Levi Colwell is fit, but Karoma's still injured.
Yeah, we'll know about team news as well. I think Scott High got a start against Cov as well.
He played well, I thought.
Played well. I think I'd probably go Pippa, Colwell, Lees, Toff, and I think get the job done. So they still get minutes, still keep that rhythm going.
Yeah.
Then you can make subs. I'd take Russell out for this one.
And
I'd give Carroll a start. I know that means we'll lose a bit of height in midfield, but I think Russell's looked a bit. He's still been good, and I'm not knocking the lad. I'm not. But I just think he can be a bit. He can have a couple of lapses defensively. So I'd give Carroll a start, like you say. I think this is a game to, if we need anyone. I'd go midfield wise. I'd go Eiting, O'Brien, and I'd go Scott High.
Nice. Yeah.
I think that could be a bit of an interesting combination.
It's quite a tidy little midfield that I think, like some nice little footwork in there. Do you know what I mean? Good passing.
Yeah, and Lewis can do his thing. I don't. To be fair, I think Hogg probably will start. I think that's what Carlos will pick, but that's my midfield. That's what I'd do. Fitness wise, I think it depends on Sinani, but I think if he if he's fit, I'd start him in this one.
Yeah.
And I'd have Tina on the left and Ward in the middle, because Ward's just come back and needs minutes.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good enough side to beat Bristol, really. I suppose we'll come on to the match predictions then. Tom, do you think we'll beat Bristol? You seemed quite confident earlier.
I think they'll do another head says. I actually think it could be like a 3-3 thriller. One of those kind of end of season, crazy games. That depends how on it the defense is there. I think if the defense is on it, we win this game 2-0. So I think for me, I'll go with a 2-0. Wouldn't be bad to see like a crazy, 6 or 7, 8 goal thriller, would it?
Yeah, that would be good.
2-0 would be nice. Then, see where we finish. I don't, like we've just discussed earlier about the playoffs. Does it really matter now? We're in that top 2 spot. So, Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, Town have got into a habit in these recent games of like being comfortably 2-0 up and then giving a goal away, at the end, 2-1. So I'm going to go for that. I'm going to go for a 2-1.
That needs snuffing out before the playoffs.
It does. Have a word.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going 2-1. I think Tino's going to get another. I think Ward's going to score on his return to the match day 11 starting. And I don't know who's going to. I'm going to say Semenyo for them. I didn't even pick. Let's go with
2-0 I said. Toffolo to keep up his scoring streak, and then get Carol Lighting getting on the score sheet. Yeah.
Nice. Cool. Well, before we leave, Tom, I heard you're feeling hot. Is this correct?
It's actually quite mild and overcast down here today, so I'm not actually that warm today, Brady. But it has just heated up a bit.
It has. Well, I'll tell you what, Tom, if it's heated up a bit, get yourself a cold shower and then come back, because it's time for hot takes.
Big bleak hot, mate. Big bleak hot, mate.
Yes, this is Hot Takes, the part where you share your spicy opinions you have about Huddersfield Town with your reason why, and we will debate it on this podcast. Hot Takes will be anonymous. Don't forget to email brady@takesthatchance.com for a chance to be featured. So, Tom, the hot take is this. Championship football is better than Premier League football from a spectator's point of view, and that's why I want Town to stay in the Championship.
Fair enough. Fair enough. From a spectator's point of view, there's different levels, though, isn't there? It's like when we were in the Premier League, do you know what? I didn't end up being like, oh, I'm seeing these players and all this. I thought I'd be like buzzing to see like Hazard and all that. And I can't even name someone else that I was excited to see. Do you know what I mean? Like, I thought it'd be all about, oh, I've seen this lot, but I was just more bothered about Town, and that's probably why it made it worse than it was. Difficult one. I want us to go up because being selfish, I'll be able to get to a lot more away games next season if we went up. But I do agree definitely from a Town point of view, you're going to enjoy the games more because you're going to be actually involved in the games in the Championship rather than the Premier League possession and all that. You'd be backs against the wall most of the games, won't you? So I kind of agree with this hot take, Brady, like from what they said, but I don't want us to be in the Championship. If we've got the opportunity, I want us to be in the highest division we possibly can be.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think I want Huddersfield Town to be the best version of itself that it can be. And obviously, if you get a massive intake of Premier League money, I think that helps. And, who knows? It is interesting, though, because I enjoy the Championship more. But I think, again, probably biased because anyone could beat anyone. and there's kind of not like an agenda apart from all the teams that seem to get relegated from the Premier League with ridiculous wage budgets. But still, like, we beat Fulham, you know, I'm not saying that's a massive shock, but like teams can beat anyone on the day, and it is a lot more exciting, I think.
We're not going up and beating City or Liverpool next season, are we? Do you know what I mean?
United. I mean, to be fair, like, yeah.
Did you just say we beat United?
Yeah, we beat United.
Is that a big scalp anymore, Brady?
I think it was at the time. They'd finished, wasn't it this season after they'd finished second?
Yeah, Mourinho's second year.
So I think that was a scalp at the time. Like, absolutely not now. I think this town team could beat United. The current town team. But yeah, no, I you never say never. Everyone gets a scalp. I mean, Norwich beat Man City. No, was it this? No, it's not last this time. Well, they beat them at one point.
Yeah, they did, didn't they? Yeah.
It can happen. It's just a fact. You know, I think the gap is, you know, quite big. I think the Championship is more enjoyable. I think you're right, Tom. Probably more likely to enjoy the Championship with Town because they've probably got a better chance of doing well. But I mean, we were crap last season as well, so I think it's all well and good saying that now when we're, you know, finishing third.
No, that's it. That's my reservation about this whole I'd rather stay in the Championship narrative is just the fact that, and like the hot taker said, the beauty of the Championship is it's so unpredictable and anyone can beat anyone. And like you've just touched on, Brady, next season we could just do a Bristol City, couldn't we, and be like, we'll look at Barnsley, playoffs last year, relegated this year, hopeless. So it's one of those, isn't it? I tell you where I don't want to go. Tell you where I don't want to go. I don't want to go to League One ever again. No. Especially now. I thought it was hard to get out of when we were in there the last time, but looking at the teams in there now, Jesus.
Yeah. I remember. Do you
remember?
When we were crap last season, and some people were saying, "Oh, I want us to get relegated to League One. I want us to get relegated to League One so we can have a reset." It's like, no, I don't.
Yeah.
Like you say, that league's so hard. Like, you've got, you know, I know Rotherham and Wigan have gone up, but like you say in the playoffs, like Sheffield Wednesday playing Sunderland, you got Wickham. Like, there's Portsmouth in there. There's a lot of big Ipswich, a lot of big. They've probably got bigger budgets than us if they want for the wage cap. You know, sod League One. I don't want to be there. So we've gone massively off for this.
No, we have. But I think what I said was, I agree with the hot take in the sense I'd rather go up there. I agree with what they're saying. The Championship is, for Town, better football for the spectator than the Premier League. 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Don't want to be paying, we talked about it before, but don't want to be paying lip service to all the, big teams and you have a divine right to be in. And how dare we set up defensively against Man City when they've got £100 million player on the bench and, we're trying to defend for our lives. Shocking, isn't it, Tom? It's like Villarreal in the semi-finals. How dare they be so defensive in the first leg?
If we go back up, you won't hear the end from Cundy or whatever, will you?
Oh, yeah. Well,
he probably doesn't even know we're in the playoffs right now.
No. We're probably a disgrace to football. I mean, how dare we even, go up? If we go up as well, you just know there'll be people like, oh, we didn't deserve to go up because we're rubbish or whatever. It's like
false position.
False position. There's this thing, lads. It's called points. It's called the league table over a season. Don't know how many times. Yeah, your football's crap. Yeah, funny how when people say our football's crap after we've beaten them.
Yeah, I know. It's great.
Shouldn't be losing to the likes of Huddersfield, Tom. Should we?
No, exactly. Keep it up, Carlos.
Keep it up. Yeah, keep balling that piss. Anyway, I think we should get out there, Tom, because I think we're all over the place. But yeah, anyway, regardless of what happens on Saturday, I'll be going. I think 12:30 kickoff. Be a nice party atmosphere, I think, hopefully, because got got to celebrate, lads, for getting there. And, you know, this is the best time, isn't it, Tom? There's a lot of ifs, buts, like what could happen? You know, it could all be over in a couple of days, could all be over in a couple of weeks. But yeah, it's exciting, and let's bloody enjoy it.
Exactly. Enjoy it, lads. Enjoy it. I always get that quote wrong. Enjoy it. What does he say? But be disciplined. Oh, we need James on.
By all means, enjoy it, but
That's
enjoy it by being fucking disciplined.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
There you go.
I need to get better at me Warnock quotes. That can be my homework over the pre-season.
Yeah, that's your off-season job. Want you coming back fighting fit with your Warnock impressions. Yeah. But yeah, we'll leave it there. Cheers, Tom, for coming on. Thanks to everyone for listening. Thanks to Magic Rock for sponsoring. As always, we've got a competition actually for the Bristol City game, which will probably be out on our Twitter by the time you hear this. So check our pinned tweet for details on how to enter there. And we'll be back to preview the playoff semi-final first leg. Ooh. So ta-ta for now and up the Tam.
By all means, enjoy it, but enjoy it by being fucking disciplined here.
There's a team that is dear to its followers. The colours are bright blue and white. They're a team of renown, and they're the pride of the town. And the game of football is their delight. And all the while upon the field of play, thousands loudly cheer them on the way. Often you can hear them say, who can beat the town today? And then the bells will ring so merrily, and every goal shall be a memory. So town, play up and bring that cup back to Huddersfield. So town, play up and bring the cup back to Huddersfield.